So we're talking sacral mechanics here. The sacrum rotates just like the lumbar spine. So it rotates forward and to the left and forward and to the right and backward and to the left and backward to the right. Okay? However, the sacrum has oblique axes. The oblique axes are named by the base that they start at. So the left oblique axis starts on the left sacral base and goes across to the right ILA. And the right oblique axis starts at the right sacral base and goes across to the left ILA. Whenever there's an oblique axis, we're talking about the opposite sacral base that rotates around that axis. Okay? So the sacrum rotates on the left oblique axis. It rotates to the left on the left oblique axis, and it rotates to the right on a left oblique axis. Okay? And whenever it's on a left oblique axis, it's the right base. Likewise, if I'm on a right oblique axis, the sacrum could rotate to the right on a right oblique axis, or it could rotate to the left on a right oblique axis. Again, when I have a right oblique axis, the base that moves on the right oblique axis is the left base. Okay? So the four things that my sacrum can do is it can rotate to the right on a right oblique axis, or it could rotate to the left on a right oblique axis. So it can rotate to the right on a right oblique axis, and that's forward motion. It could rotate to the left on a right oblique axis, and that's backward motion. It can also, the other two things it can do is it can rotate to the right on a left oblique axis, or it could rotate to the left on a left oblique axis. So there are two ways, I'm going to say it one different way. There are two ways it can rotate to the right, and there are two ways it can rotate to the left. It could rotate to the right on left, or it could rotate to the right on right. It could rotate to the left two times. It could rotate to the left on left, or it could rotate to the left on right. So if somebody comes into my clinic and they have a dysfunction and they're stuck, when the patient comes in, I see this. So I see that this left base looks shallow and the right base looks deep. So if I see that, if I see shallow on the right and shallow on the left and deep on the right, all I know is that the sacrum is rotated to the left. That's all I know. So I then have to remember the sacrum could be rotated left two different ways. It could be rotated to the left on right, or it could be rotated to the left on left. So there's two ways two things we can look for. We're not sure. We only know it's rotated to the left if I see shallow on the left, deep on the right. Okay? And so that's really all you have to know up to, is that there's two ways the sacrum could rotate to the left, and that would be left on left or left on right, or left on left. And there's two ways the sacrum could rotate to the right on left or right on right. Okay? So if I feel shallow on the left and deep on the right, I know it's rotated left, and it's two different ways it could rotate left. Okay? The other way, if I know it's shallow on the right and deep on the left, I know it's rotated to the right. So it could rotate to the right two different ways. Right on left or right on right. That's all you have to know. You'll have pictures on your test of a sacrum that is shallow on one side and deep on the other. And you'll have to know what two choices it could be. Okay? Here's the last thing. The last thing is, when does the sacrum do these things? Well, one of the things that defines what the sacrum does is the lumbar spine. whenever my lumbar spine flexes, my sacrum extends. So if my lumbar spine flexes, let's see if I can get that right. If my lumbar spine goes forward, my sacrum goes backward. So if my lumbar spine rotates to the right, my sacrum rotates left. Okay. Therefore, if my sacrum is stuck, rotated to the right, my lumbar spine will rotate to the left in compensation. Okay? And that is all you need to know.